Hey there, and welcome to another edition of Tour Confidential. I'm Ryan Aselta, and happy to be joined this week by Golf.com's Josh Burhow and Dylan DeChair. And guys, on Monday, the USGA and R&A announced a major change to how rules decisions are handled. Now, beginning January 1st, tournament officials will no longer consider call-ins from viewers as part of rules decisions. In a statement, USGA Senior Director of Rules and Amateur Status Thomas Pagels said, "The message we're putting out to fans is, what you've seen, we've seen. Have confidence in us running the event." Now, guys, the governing bodies have also eliminated the rule of penalizing a golfer 2 strokes for signing an incorrect scorecard as a result of a rules violation they were unaware of. We've seen this rear its ugly head multiple times the last few years, guys. Lexi Thompson this year, obviously the fiasco with Dustin Johnson at Oakmont a couple years ago. Josh, start with you. Your reaction to the adjustment of these rules going into 2018.
Yeah, I think people are universally pleased with these ones. The issue here is we don't want nameless, faceless men or women sitting on their couch in their basement having a major influence on a golf tournament if they happen to watch the telecast in slow motion and call in. So the frustrating thing about the Lexi Thompson situation, too, was the penalty didn't come after her round. It didn't come before her round the next day. It came the day later. It came on, I think, after the 12th hole on the back nine when she was winning a tournament, a major championship, and then it had to be broadcast live on TV. So it's the thing where if that's okay, where do we draw the line? And it opened this whole other can of worms, and now we have that line and we know what's allowed and what's not allowed.
Yeah, Dylan, it was always strange to have people at home on their couch who are, rewinding the broadcast, calling in for rules. You don't see this in any other sport. Can you imagine a football touchdown determined by Joe Schmo on his couch back home in Wisconsin? A change that seemed like this was natural and necessary to the game of golf at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it too. You wouldn't see this in football, and it's nice to have golf take one more thing away that other fans of other sports can make fun of us for. So this just seems like a good common sense decision. The officials should be in charge of the tournament. We know certainly the officials haven't run things perfectly over the last few years, but definitely just to at least have a little more control over this, it seems like a no-brainer.
How about the timing of how rules decisions are determined in these situations? Josh, you referred to how it happened with Lexi a day later with Dustin Johnson. There were quite a few holes in between what was going on, and it led to chaos on the golf course. Dylan, the officials say they're going to be monitoring everything now. It seems like they have to have what the NFL has in place to have that epicenter of looking at tape, looking at video replay as it's happening, so we avoid problems going forward, right?
Yeah, and I think you really just need that group to be decisive and, look at it if you can before the end of the hole. If you know something's going on, like in football, they don't run the next play until they've figured out what's happened previously. And, maybe the golf rules wouldn't be quite that quick in turning it over, but having it, within a few holes at least, rather than developing over the course of the day and keeping more uncertainty.
Yeah, how about this, the idea of taking away the 2-stroke penalty for signing an incorrect scorecard if the player was unaware, Josh? Now, you mentioned Lexi. She was hit with that 4-stroke penalty because of the 2 extra strokes with the scorecard. She didn't even know she had violated any rules. This leaves a lot in the hands of the golfer to say, I was unaware of the rules violation. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, there's a little gray area now where the golfer almost has that get-out-of-jail-free card if they say, I wasn't aware of the rules. And in golf, you want to have a genuine score, and you want to have your scorecard be perfect, and you're an honest player, and that's kind of the standard we hold ourselves to. So a little bit of gray area there, but the USGA, R&A are definitely throwing all their chips kind of in the middle, saying we'll see everything, we'll catch everything, and that's they got to back it up now.
Yeah, I mean, the sport is built on that, right? Dylan, golfers hold themselves to a higher standard. They're in charge of policing themselves first and foremost. Can we trust that will continue to happen?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it is obviously a high-stakes environment. Everyone's going to be feeling the pressure, and now the governing bodies are putting even more pressure on themselves, too, that they're going to get it right and get it right quickly. It is a little silly in some ways that players are even still responsible for keeping their scores, doing math or whatever, but that's the way it is. 156 players in the field. They kind of have to police each other, and now they'll have some more oversight and hopefully some more consistent oversight.
These rules, of course, go into effect January 1st. All right, switch gears to one of the most popular figures on the PGA Tour. Rory McIlroy made some announcements over the week. He announced that Harry Diamond, his buddy, will remain on his bag, Josh, and he also announced a heavy playing schedule. And let's start with that. 8 tournament events before the Masters for Rory as he comes back from this injury. When you look at the layout of where he's going to play, the amount he's going to play before the Masters, what's it do for your expectation level of McIlroy coming back?
Yeah, you can tell I think he's trying to put 2017 behind him. He had that rib injury. He started 2017 number 2 ranked player in the world. He's going to be 10, maybe even 11 by the end of this year. And Rory McIlroy, that's unheard of. He hasn't been 10th since 2010. So I think he's just trying to get a good start, make sure he's injury-free and kind of test everything out before Augusta comes around.
Yeah, Dylan, it's almost 2017 was a lost year for Rory. Not that long ago, though, this guy finished with a flurry. He won the Tour Championship, won a playoff event before that as well in 2016, coming back healthy from the rib/back injury. This schedule is pretty heavy, though. He goes to Abu Dhabi and Dubai, but then some surprises on there. He's going to play at Pebble Beach, going to play the Genesis, Honda, Valspar, Arnold Palmer, and then the match play. 8 events. Pretty ambitious for a guy who's coming back from injury, don't you think?
Yeah, and one of the things you do worry about is all that travel, the globe trotting before, playing Augusta and playing some of these back-to-back weeks. But it sounds like from Rory's comments, he's really trying to make this a dividing point in his career. He's sort of 10 years in. He was saying he hopes the next decade can take him from being a great player to one of the greatest players. And so it's clear that he's got his mind on bigger things, on big success, and that's exciting. I think Rory is maybe the most interesting non-Tiger figure in golf. So he's been down a little bit. Seeing him back in the mix on a regular basis is going to be awesome.
How about in the mix at majors? 4 majors already. Does he win another one this year?
I think Rory's always going to be around come major tournament time. That's what he's playing for. That's what the schedule's leading up for. Augusta, we've seen him come close there, and you can't ever rule him out there. He's always going to be a favorite.
Yeah, top 10 at the Masters and the Open Championship a year ago, and that was with dealing with these injuries as well. We'll see where Rory is in 2018. We'll see him first at Abu Dhabi in January. Dylan, Josh, thanks for being with us, and that's going to do it for this edition of Tour Confidential. Be sure to join us next Monday right here on Golf.com.